Dear students, we are back again with the second part of the third lesson in geography, our changing earth. As we all have discussed earlier, we are talking about the endogenic and exogenic forces which causes changes on certain landforms on the earth. While the endogenic forces like volcanic eruptions and earthquakes work from below the surface of the earth, there are certain exogenic forces which cause some motions or movements or changes on the surface of the earth, and they bring certain new landforms. So, the exogenic forces are basically the external forces that act on the surface of the earth, that is, upon the lithosphere, and they cause weathering or creation of various landforms on earth. Now, what are all these landforms which are created, how they are created, and what exactly causes these landforms to come into existence? We will talk about all this in this video. The exogenic forces basically work in three steps. Weathering is done first, then erosion is done, and ultimately the deposition of eroded material is done. Weathering is the breaking up of already existing landforms, you can say a rock. When breaks down due to temperature change or frost, that is freezing process or ice, or due to any other chemical change, then the process is called weathering. Sometimes it is observed that a rock, a freestanding rock, which is constantly under the action of wind or temperature or very cold atmosphere or a chemical change breaks down. It develops certain cracks in it, and ultimately it reduces into small chunks or pieces of rocks. Now, once weathering is done, once the already existing bigger rock is broken into smaller pieces, the next step comes into being. This is erosion. So, after weathering, the rocks wear down and then they are transported. Now, because after weathering, the rocks are smaller in size, sometimes they even turn into the smallest bit of a particular substance. Therefore, it is very easy to carry them away. It is very easy to for them to be transported, and it is done by rivers, ice, wind, and sea waves. Let us talk about the rivers first. Now, when the river causes erosion or transportation of a broken down substance, it leads to the formation of certain new landforms. It could be a V shaped valley, which is seen in mountain areas. It could be a rapid. What is a rapid? It is a fast flowing stream of water. It could be a waterfall. It could be an oxbow lake. It could be a floodplain, and it could be a natural levee or a delta. Let us now talk about them one by one. So, the first agent of erosion that we have is, let us find out what is the work of a river. Now, it flows, it erodes the landscape. We all know there is a source of beginning of a river on the mountain. When the mountain ice melts, it leads to the formation of a river. And since this river water is flowing from a height, it erodes the landscape, or it breaks down the rocks which come in its way, and the carried loads of rocks, stones, and other particles which are carried along with the river lead to the formation of a V shaped valley. A V shaped valley is created when the constantly flowing water, as you can check it out, the constantly flowing water, what it does, it erodes the banks of the mountain areas. And while it erodes the banks of the mountain areas, it causes a steep, it causes a V shaped structure to create, leading to the formation of a V shaped valley. The next structure that we discussed, which is caused by the work of a river, is a rapid. A rapid is basically a fast flowing stream of water which is a result of the erosion work of a river. As you can see in this picture, a waterfall is being created. So we all know that the source of the beginning of a river is high areas or the mountains. Now when the water continues to flow, whatever comes in its way is eroded or broken down. And basically, what is a waterfall? A waterfall is a water structure which is created when water falls down from a great height. As you can check out in this diagram, this is the flow of water from a great height, or you can say from a mountain, which is the source of formation of the particular river. When it falls down, a hard dolomite layer is there. Dolomite is a rock or an igneous rock. So when the water falls down, the layers of softer rocks are below it, and these layers, the layers of hard rock and the layer of soft rock, are constantly eroded or broken down when the water falls down from a great height at a very high speed. We all have seen a waterfall, and we all know that when a water falls from a great height, it is at a very high speed. Therefore, when this very quickly flowing water touches these areas, it simply erodes the rocks which come in its way, and thereafter it creates a stream of river, and the stream of river further flows to join the other tributaries. So this is how a waterfall is created. Now to this, I would like to mention there are certain important waterfalls across the world, like the Angel Falls of Venezuela, which is in South America, the Niagara Falls of North America, the Victoria Falls of Africa, which is in Zambia and Zimbabwe water, are certain important waterfalls. The Jog Falls in India is one of the very important waterfall in your country. The next structure is the formation of an oxbow lake. Before we begin with oxbow lake, the word oxbow means the bow of an ox, which is fixed to its bottom. Now let us check out how does an oxbow lake or a lake in the shape of an oxbow is created. As we all have seen, now the waterfall is over and the river has touched the ground. Now when the river reaches ground, it tends to make its own way on the ground, and it takes its own twists and turns to form. These are the banks of the river, and the river is flowing at a lesser speed as compared to the waterfall, and it is taking its own path. In the second picture, you can check out, as soon as the water reduces its speed, it tends to erode away the material which is coming in its way from the banks of the river, creating an extra space for itself, and it takes up this bow-like shape, and the river continues to flow down. Ultimately, what happens? These curves become so sharp that at a point they join together. And as you can see the green patch, a small piece of land is blocked inside and it is covered by water from all the other sides. And it will take a large number of years to happen. The water continues to flow, as you can see in the fourth picture, continuously eroding the silt or clay or land which is found on the banks of the river, thereby creating a landmass or a dry area in between. Now because the river is free flowing, the river will take its path, it will continue to flow and it will continue to join forward, whereas a small lake shaped structure, a lake shaped water body is cut behind, because by the continuous deposition of silt and clay which is carried by the river water is deposited on the banks of this river. This is how an ox-shaped lake is cut, thereby making a separate Oxbow Lake. So you see, this lake water was once a part of this river, but now due to collection of debris, collection of silt, collection of sediments which are carried away with water are dropped on both the sides, thereby creating a dry land in between this water and the water which is left in the loop and leading to the formation of a lake. So this is how an oxbow lake is created, whereby this lake is left behind and the river water continues to flow, taking its own path. The river reduces its speed of moving on the land and it continues to move. Whereas during rainy season, when there is more water in the river, sometimes the river banks overflow. And when they overflow, the silt which is carried in the river water is deposited on the banks, which leads to the formation of a flood plain. So basically, flood plain is a fertile area which is created on the banks of the river when, due to extreme water, due to overflow of the river, the silt, clay and sediments are deposited on the banks of the river, thereby creating a flood plain. Now, along the sides of the river, not only the plains but some raised structures are also created sometimes. These raised structures are basically called as levees or natural levee. Now the river continues to flow, taking its path, and ultimately the river has a final destination as meeting into the sea or ocean. So the river continues to flow, making its tributaries, making certain small streams through the bigger river, and then now let us check out how it leads to the formation of a delta. The time when the river is about to meet the ocean, its speed reduces to the most. The water in the river is very slow moving when it is about to meet the ocean. At this point of time, all the tributaries, all the distributary channels, which are the streams, narrow streams of a river, are depositing the silt, clay, sand and other heavier particles which they were once carrying with water. Now since the flow of water was higher, so the water of river was carrying those sand. But now since the speed of water has reduced, all the sand, clay and silt is deposited at the shoreline or at the shore of a river. This leads to the formation of a triangular structure. As you can see in the dotted circle, this triangular structure is known as a delta. So basically, a triangular piece of land which is formed at the mouth of the river due to deposition of sand, silt and clay when the speed of river is reduced is basically called a delta, because the triangular shaped symbol in Greek language is called as the delta symbol. This triangular symbol that I have drawn is known as delta in the language, and that is why, since the triangular structure is created through this river water also, that is why the structure is also called as delta. Let us now repeat the erosion work of delta. The erosion work of river, works in the following ways. River leads to the formation of V-shaped valley, which is a V-shaped structure created along the mountain sides when the river flows at a great speed. Then a fast moving river stream is called as a rapid, which is also created by fast moving river water. The third structure is a waterfall, when water falls down from a great height, thereby causing an erosion on the sides of the mountain through which it falls down. The next is the structure, the oxbow lake, which is in the shape of an oxbow, which is created by continuous deposition of sand and silt along the banks of a river. The next is a flood plain, which is particularly created during the flood situation when the flood arises in a river, it deposits sand, silt and clay along the banks of the river, creating a fertile plain. This is known as a flood plain. It is very helpful to do an agricultural activity. The next is a levee. Like the flood plain is a plain created by the river water. Similarly, a levee is a raised structure which is created by the flood water. So both floodplains and levees are created by the flood happening in the rivers. The last structure is a delta, which is a triangular shaped sand structure when the speed of river water reduces the maximum and it is moving at a very slow speed because the river is about to meet the ocean. At that point of time, the river water sheds down all the heavy particles which the river water is carrying with itself, thereby creating a triangular shape at the mouth of an ocean or a sea, which is termed as a delta. Let us now talk about the work of ice. Let us now discuss the next erosion which is created by ice. Like you have discussed rivers in detail, let us see how ice causes erosion and formation of certain new landforms. Let's see this. Like a river creates a V-shaped valley, similarly ice creates U-shaped valley. Because water requires lesser space to flow down, it creates a V-shaped structure, whereas ice creates a U-shaped structure. There is this basic difference in between the shapes of valleys. Like river, the valley which is created by river is a V letter shaped valley, whereas a valley which is created by ice is a U letter shaped valley. Like there is difference between the letters V and U. Similarly, a valley which is created by a river will be V-shaped and a valley which is created by ice will be U-shaped, having a broader base or broader bottom. Otherwise, the procedure of formation of a U-shaped valley is similar to a V-shaped valley. The next structure which ice creates due to erosion is formation of a cirque and later on a tarn. Now what is a cirque? Let us discuss this. When the slow moving ice moves, it erodes the areas which is around it. Unlike the river, here is a picture which is of a very cold region having mountains and ice all around. So when the slow moving ice moves away, it creates a chair-like depression. A chair-like depression in the mountains, which is basically a cirque. Now this also happens sometimes that these chair-like structures are filled with water or some debris because the ice melts. The ice melts because of rise in temperature. When these cirques are filled with ice and the ice melts, this is called as tarn, T-A-R-N. Let us talk about the glacial moraines. Like ice creates cirque and tarns, similarly it also creates glacial moraines. Now glacial moraines are simply the small fields which are created by deposition of molten ice. As you can see in the picture, ice kept on collecting in this region, and when the ice molten down, when the ice melt down, it leaves the pieces of rocks and silt and clay and debris which it was carrying when it was moving from the mountain, thereby creating a plain area. This is known as a glacial moraine. So a glacial moraine is simply a small field which is created by the deposition of molten ice. The third agent of erosion is sea waves. Like rivers causes formations of new structures, like ice causes formation of new structures. Similarly, the sea waves or the fast moving upper layer of water on the oceans and seas causes the formation of certain structures. So sea waves create the following structures, namely the sea caves, the sea arches, and stack. What is a sea cave? As the name suggests, what is a cave? A cave is that structure which is open only from one side and it is closed from the other side. It has a boundary, it has a wall of rocks on the other side. The other structure is sea arch. Like the sea caves are there, it is a piece of rock or a mountain inside a river, inside a ocean. When it is continuously banged by the sea waves from both the sides, what happens? The other side wall which was present in the sea cave ultimately collapses. And when the one side wall of a sea cave collapses, the similar structure turns into a sea arch. So it is a both side open arch like structure. You can compare arch to a door, like it is a to and fro movement. So both ways it is open. The third structure that is created is a stack. A stack is created when simply the roof of a sea arch collapses due to continuous action of sea waves. When the roof collapses, only the pillars remain, and this is known as a stack. Let us quickly check this out through pictures. As you can see, this is a sea cave which is closed from one side but it is open from the other. So due to continuous action of sea waves, this side area of this structure of this piece of rock is broken, is worn down, and a sea cave is created which is having a hollow from one side but it is closed from the other. However, this is slightly open. Then due to continuous action of wave, sea wave from both the sides, as we know that a sea wave moves on both the sides of a sea. It moves from the ocean towards the seashore also, and it moves from the seashore towards the sea again. So with the continuous action of sea waves, the behind wall of the sea cave finally collapses after a particular year, and then after a certain number of years you can say, and then a sea arch is created. So a sea arch is a refined form of sea cave. When the back wall also collapses, this becomes an arch. So hereby the water can move from this side to the back side and from the other side towards the sea shore. So an arch is created when the back wall of a sea cave collapses, which was this. With the continuous action of sea waves, ultimately this roof which you are seeing on the sea arches will also collapse because the sea waves are sometimes very high. Ultimately, they will lead to this kind of pillar-like structures which were once upon a time a sea cave. Then due to continuous action of sea waves, the behind wall collapsed. It turned into a sea arch, and when the roof also collapsed, only the pillar-like structures remained. This is now called a stack. So this is how a sea wave causes a cave, an arch, and a stack. So we are ready with the last agent of erosion, and that is wind. Wind also, when it blows at a very great speed, it carries certain particles of sand and soil along with it, and when these particles continuously bang across a surface, it causes erosion of that particular surface. This usually happens in the desert area because the buildings, the trees are absent, and we have a larger area of wind to blow freely and cause certain erosions on the structures which are available in the desert areas. Now, wind creates certain structures which are mushroom rocks, which are the rocks or hills shaped like mushrooms, and another common structure that a wind creates is a sand dune or a temporary hill of sand which is created in the desert area. Let us very quickly discuss this through a picture. So basically what happens, because wind has a larger area to blow in the desert areas with having lesser amount of buildings and trees, it will simply strike the rocks which are available there. Now, why will it strike only the lower parts of the rock? It will strike only the lower parts of the rock because the wind is very heavy. It is carrying sand with it, and that is why the air particles are heavy. They cannot rise very high. Therefore, they will continue to hit only the lower portions of the rock or a mountain which comes in its way, thereby creating a mushroom-like structure which is narrow at the bottom and wide at the top. We all have seen the mushroom and we all know its shape. It is narrow at the bottom and it is wider at the top. This is how a mushroom rock is created when the continuous action of wind is happening from both the sides, thereby causing erosion of the sides of the rock, creating a mushroom-like structure. It is also called hoodoos in some language. Extreme temperature in the desert with very high and warm temperature days and freezing nights also cause the expansion and contraction of these rocks very fast. This creates cracks in the rocks, and when the soil laden or sand laden wind hits these rocks, it simply erodes or breaks down the lower portions of these rocks, creating a mushroom like structure. So this is how a mushroom rock is created. Another structure which is created by the action of wind, particularly in desert area, is a sand dune. A sand dune is simply a temporary hill. Now, why do we call it a hill? Because it is in the shape of a hill. And why do we call this temporary? Because you will observe that as the sand moves, these landforms or these structures or these sand dunes will also shift. Now you are seeing it here. After a few hours, maybe this area will become a plain like this, and these crescent shape, this hill-like structures will shift a little bit towards the direction of the movement of wind. So this is how sand dunes are also created, and the very fine and light sand particles blow over the desert areas and they move it away from this place to another. Therefore, in the desert areas, we particularly call that wind is not only the agent of erosion, but wind is also an agent of deposition, because wind is depositing the particles of sand, thereby creating a sand dune. So let us sum it up now. Let us quickly discuss what all has been taught so far. In this section, we have talked about the exogenic forces, which are the external forces which causes certain movements on the surface of the earth, that is above lithosphere, causing certain new landforms to create. Exogenic forces work in 3 steps, that is weathering, erosion and deposition. Weathering means first we need to break down the rocks. So this is called as weathering. Second step is to carry those broken pieces of rocks. This process is called erosion. And the third step is called deposition. When the speed of erosion agent becomes slow, the particles are deposited, thereby causing deposition. Under erosion, we have seen erosion is done by 4 major agents, that is river, ice, sea waves and winds. Rivers create structures like V-shaped valley, waterfalls, rapids, natural levees, floodplains and oxbow lake. Ice creates moraines, that is glacial moraines, cirque and tarn. Sea waves create sea caves, sea arches and stack. And the last one is wind, which creates mushroom rocks, that is rocks in the shape of a mushroom, and the sand dunes, which are the temporary hills of sand found in the desert area. So hope there is nothing in this lesson left. In case you would like to ask anything, you can anytime sort out your query by contacting me. Thank you so much for watching.